Hey, what do you know? What's going on, everybody? I know. Let me just make double check something real quickly. I know that so I'm kind of new to all this stuff, so I'm trying to get a hang of it. What's going on, everybody? Safe Moon Joe here, and we have the Safe Moon Crypto Roundtable, whatever you want to call it. We're up to number 13, growing every single time we do this, and this is the first time hosting it actually. So yeah, it's pretty good. And if it all goes wrong, we'll just blame somebody else. That's the way to do it, the crypto way. What I want to do right now is I want to slowly introduce everybody on here. We have a special guest as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to one by one introduce everybody into the roundtable. I'm going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about the crypto basics today. And we're also going to go ahead and talk about saving as well. So I think there's a lot of things that are really important as far as like understanding like the fundamentals of crypto and how to get people involved and stuff like that, as well as what's been happening lately with saving. So we're going to talk about all that. But first, let's everybody one by one. Right off the gate, Dark Moon Tim.
What's going on? Diamond Fist.
Then we have Crypto Atlas.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
And then next we have Generation Crypto.
How's it going, everybody?
And then we have the RJ Adonis, the Brad Pitt of the crew.
Oh my gosh. What's going on, everyone?
And then we have a special guest, Zac DIY Wealth.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
So how's it going, everybody? How do you know what everyone's doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. You doing well, Joe?
Yeah, it's a nice day out today, actually, enjoy the weather most of the day, to be honest with you. What I want to talk about is like the basics of crypto and like what's the best way to get people involved in crypto. Because I mean, let's be honest, like when I first bought SafeMoon, it took me forever to like buy and understand it and break it down. And that was all me doing it because I wanted to do it. But what do you say to like the everyday average person to get him involved, to get him like just start talking about this or bring the conversation up, or even for them to even want to do it on their own? So we'll go ahead and ask Generation. What do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, so I think that the first thing that people need to understand is what crypto is. There's a lot of misconceptions about what cryptocurrency is and what it does. And I think a large part of that is because of the name cryptocurrency. So people automatically assume that its only real function is as a currency or a digital form of currency that can be traded in multiple social circles or different circumstances. And so people just assume it's just some sort of digital money that people just made up, gave a name, and that you can share with other people. And there's hundreds and hundreds of them and thousands of them that come out every single day. And they just don't understand why that has relevance or why that has utility and use case. So I think the first thing that you got to really teach people about what cryptocurrency is that it's more than just simply a digital asset like the digital dollar. It has value beyond that because of the technology that actually supports it, which is blockchain technology. So I would say the first thing you need to explain to people when it comes to crypto is explaining what a blockchain is and what that technology does and why that technology is so important for the future of not only cryptocurrencies, but Web 3.0 and everything else that's trying to be developed on top of that technology itself, outside of just cryptocurrencies.
Awesome. Does anyone else have anything about that? Like any way to get someone involved that might be just relatively new to crypto in general?
I mean, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I mean, in a higher level, so I went to Cryptopia. I went to that convention a couple months ago, actually how I ended up meeting Drew. But at a higher level, like we're born into this world going, okay, the US dollar, this is the function of money. This is how things are supposed to work. And now we're entering a new era where things are moving more and more and more digitally. And like, if you look at projected trends of technology usage and how much time we're spending with technology from our grandparents relative to our parents, from our parents relative to us, from us relative to younger generations, that trend line just keeps going up. And now you pair that with, the Fed printing more money. The Fed has printed so much money. 40% of the new money has been circulated over the past, or new money has been created over the past 12 months. And on top of that, you have inflation just destroying your purchasing power. So if you can pair things and look at things at a high enough level and explain it to people and help people understand, like when the Fed prints more money, they're just adding zeros to a ledger. They're not actually printing all of that money. So if you position things ever so right, looking at the Fed and our monetary system now relative to some of the much better constructed currency systems that exist within blockchain, if you can present that well enough to someone, I think I found it's a very I don't want to say easy way, but a very good way to get the gears turning in their head that maybe this is something I should start adopting.
Yeah. So Zach, you just got here. You're relatively new to the panel and whatnot, but why don't you give us an introduction about who you are and where you're from, buddy?
Yeah, so I mean, grew up in Michigan, didn't have a lot of guidance in life. And again, not to make anyone uncomfortable, I say it because you can have the start card stacked against you and you can still get where I'm at in life. Victim of child abuse, had to testify against parents in court, things like that. Ended up doing the Marine Corps, did a combat tour, lots of trauma, lots of PTSD, all that shit that comes with that. And so long story short, I just started educating myself on learning how to make imaginary green things, make more imaginary green things for me. So basically I went from being poor money management, being in quite a bit of debt, to acquiring a net worth of $1 million by the age of 31. Actually, I'm 32 now, but by 31, I had a net worth of $1 million through assets such as real estate, the stock market. But I am moving into a heavier position into what I call digital assets, things like cryptocurrency, NFTs, things like that, that I would just pair into what I have deemed digital assets. And I'm all about helping educate people to get to a point where they can design the life they want to live. I left my corporate job September of last year. I have enough passive money coming in at this point where I can produce more and pour my creative juices into helping educate and empower people to design the life they want to live.
I quit my corporate job last September too.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. That's awesome, man.
I didn't. So
Yay!
I'm still working on it, guys.
But that's awesome, to come from where you are to where you are now and whatnot. It's something that I think that a lot of people, more respect money more. I think that's what the best way to say it. It's when you don't have much of it and then you start getting some, you're going to respect it more. And I think that's something that, can only be done in that way. Obviously, there's different ways people go about getting involved in money and whatnot, but that's one way. And that's something myself as well. I mean, when I was raised relatively poor when I was really younger. And as you get older, you just go, whoa, I own things now. I have this money and bills are paid. And what do I do? Like, this is weird because this is not normal, So, yeah, absolutely.
Joe, can I touch on the previous question about how we would introduce people to crypto? So when you're looking at crypto as a whole, it's an investment opportunity. Most of the crypto projects that are out there, they fluctuate in price. So just like when you would look at stocks, they fluctuate in price. There's risks inherently that come into play with that. And this is the evolution of what the next big hot sector is. So when we look at tech, this is in a tech-based field. And moving forward, the generations where we grew up in, the people that were growing up with the internet, right? These are the kinds of demographics that are now looking to make into diversifying investment plays, whether it be real estate, stocks, cryptocurrencies now, that kind of a sector. And this is the evolution. We had before paper money, and then the next thing you know, we started introducing checks. Then we got to the credit cards. And so it's only logical that you see it progress to the next phase, which is where we're at now. So there's an opportunity that's there, but it's very new. And for people to try and understand it more, there's information that's out there, but people also need to understand that things are kind of getting the ball rolling, right? Like you don't just invent the car and everything is optimized and working just fine. It's been how many years from now since the car was even introduced? And there's still things that are becoming revolutionary in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So let's say any of you guys, if you saw someone on the street and they just randomly spoke a conversation about crypto, like what's the best way to go from like that conversation to actually getting them involved? Because one thing, the everyday average person doesn't really know much about crypto or doesn't really care much about crypto. And it's a little bit of both. And to get them involved from just going, hey, listen, you're go from your regular bank, or hey, listen, I know you just got paid, have couple extra bucks. How do you get that person to get involved in crypto overall? So let's go ahead and go over to Moon Boy. Just came in. How you doing, buddy?
What is up, guys? Welcome, Zach, to the panel. I was actually listening to your story. I was actually down there. Joe didn't bring me up in time, but I heard everything you said. Incredible story. I love the journey of where you came from versus where you are right now. Very inspirational. I'm sure a lot of us do want to follow that trajectory. But with crypto, that's where we're starting when it comes to investing. But if I was on the road and someone just happened to approach me about crypto, I'm wearing a Safe Moon shirt, Someone kind of knows the logo, they don't understand it too well. Hey, what's that shirt about? Can you tell me a little bit? It is very hard to figure out where to start because this person's first introduction to crypto is me. So I need to do a good service to give them a good idea of what crypto is in like 2 minutes. And I remember my first start, and it wasn't the best start. So I have to give them the realistic understanding. It's an investment just like everything else. And, with this particular market only being about 12, almost 13 years old, it's very volatile. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. But the safer plays when it comes to a volatile market is just the regular blue chips. Anything in the top 10, I would consider at this point is usually going to be a safer bet. As you want to do more research and understand more about other cryptos, when you want to dive into DeFi, you can look into other projects, but never start there. Start from the very foundation, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the entry point to all things crypto related. When you get into Bitcoin, you understand what Bitcoin is. That does pique your interest to look other places. It piqued my interest to look into Dogecoin and XRP, found SafeMoon. For me, I started with XRP, started with 88 Cash. I started with Cardano. That's what I started with. So I have to get into Cardano. I looked into everything else afterwards. But when it comes to introducing someone in crypto, it's actually very nervous because you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to recommend, you don't want to suggest, you kind of want to just give them a broad idea and just kind of go and look at it yourself. But always recommend at the very least, look into the blue chips first and then venture off from that point.
Good point. Does anyone want to touch on that as well? Like as far as like going to somebody that's just relatively new and getting them involved and whatnot?
Yeah, I agree with Moonboy. It's a very stacked question. Meaning if you just run into someone and someone comes into you and say, hey, I kind of recognize you from this, you talk about crypto, right? It's odd because I just got a text message from an old friend's parent. They just reached out to me and said, hey, is this still RJ's number? I was like, yes, this is. And they're like, I saw you were talking about crypto. Any recommendations, any advice? And it's just such a loaded question. I'm like, wow, yeah, the first line I replied with was, wow, that is a loaded question to ask, right? What is crypto? And so I'd have to agree with Moonboy in the terms of start with your blue chip, right? Anything in your top 10. Everyone knows what Bitcoin is, right? So I've just look into Bitcoin, see, and kind of immerse yourself slowly with your blue chip cryptos, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, your ADA, Cardano, your Solana. Then you will have, if it gravitates towards you, you'll eventually have a natural progression to learn other things, right? What is Bitcoin built out of? It's built on blockchain technology. Then you'll probably run into DeFi projects, right? So I would agree, definitely learn your blue chips first. And once you've got a good grasp of your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Cardano, your Binance, then let it take its natural course into learning the underlying technology in it.
Just one point. I know Dogecoin is in the top 10, but it's not a blue chip. So take that as you will, but don't start with Dogecoin. I know a lot of us started with Dogecoin. That's a horrible start. I'm just saying. So start with the blue chip of blue chips. Like RJ said, the Cardanos, the Ethereums, the Bitcoins, the Solanas. That is what we're talking about.
Something I'll parlay off of that too. It's kind of like a separate thought, but it's just kind of like a fun fact. I can't remember where the study was. I'll have to find it. I can send it to you guys. But there was a study done on the cryptocurrency to fiat currency circulation, and when this area was birthed, that cycling out back into fiat currency was very, very, very heavy. As the years have progressed, as people cycle out of their altcoins, they only cycle up to Bitcoin, and less money is getting recirculated back out into the fiat currency system. And so you see these mega trends like this. And again, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I just look at mega trends. If I have a mega trend working for me, even if I'm off a little bit or even a lot of bit, I still have this mega trend working for me. And so to see things like this over these longer scales and time horizons, you can't sit there and go, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I personally love talking about crypto, and I've had instances where, let's say I'm taking an Uber or a Lyft, there's that time frame where I get to socialize a little bit. So I'm always curious to find out how much people actually understand about crypto. So I kind of lead it down a standard route where first off, we talk about, do they do anything outside of this job, right? Oh, do you do any investing? Just talking points that you're trying to find of common ground. And then when you transition over to the idea of talking about investments, it's like, oh, have you invested anything into crypto, or do you know anything about it? I'm asking them questions to find out what they already know instead of trying to sell them on something. It's more like, hey, if you're new to this or if you have questions, we have something fun to be able to discuss, because I would love to know concerns that you've had, what you've heard about. Maybe you've heard of projects that I haven't heard of, and then I could take that away myself and go do some research. And I feel that just makes the conversation more friendly, more organic, and it makes them feel more like they're in control, in which reality they are. They are controlling how that conversation moves forward.
To me, if you don't mind,
Go
to
ahead.
me, the cool thing about crypto is that it fits a need for so many different categories. And what I mean by that is people get into crypto for all sorts of different reasons. Some people, they're strictly in it because they're coming from this investment mindset of I'm here to increase my value and my worth. And I'm going to do that through the opportunities that present themselves through cryptocurrencies, DeFi, NFTs, and the opportunity that I have to grow with this industry. Then there's other people that come into it for completely different reasons, right? There's people out there who do not trust their government, whether it's what other country they live in, without getting into politics. A lot of people, they don't like their financial systems. They don't like the fiat system that they've been born into. Some people are less fortunate than others and grow into systems where it's nearly impossible to grow wealth in your regular lifespan working a regular job within the fiat system that they're built into. And so there is no opportunity to grow a savings account or anything, because a year later that money is worth so much less that you can't do anything with it. And not to mention the fact that there's governments and corporations that can control your assets on your behalf based upon different situations that occur, whereas that opportunity is taken away from centralized organizations when you look at cryptocurrencies. So it's not necessarily only about how I can make money, but for a lot of people, it's the freedom that is offered away from governments and away from centralized organizations that is available through decentralized finance, or cryptocurrency, or whatever you want to call it. So I think that there's a lot of avenues that you can kind of bring people into the fold of adopting cryptocurrency on a wide scale. And it's going to be a different approach based upon who you're talking with. Some people do not care about investments. It's never been something that's been a priority for them, and they don't care about that. But if you tell them that, hey, the government can't take your money away, or the bank can't freeze your assets when you want to move from one location to another, that's going to sell someone way more than telling them that they can gain, 10% APY by yield farming or doing this or that. So I think the important thing to recognize with crypto is that not everyone is in it for the reason of investing, and not everyone is in it for the same reasons, even outside of investing. So sometimes we got to take different approaches with that as well and show that crypto is so much more than just simply a way to make money. And it's a lot more than just simply a digital asset.
That's a lot. But I mean, listen, very well said. No, 100%. The thing about crypto, I think, probably the biggest issue right now for anybody, let's say someone just gets in, first step in the door, what makes like a good crypto versus a bad crypto? How can you tell? And, it's really hard to. It's getting harder as well as time goes on, as we see more and more crypto devs come out of nowhere and go, oh, we dox ourselves, and they still take the money. So what do you feel like, any of you guys, what do you feel like, what would be like a good way to indicate what is like a good solid team versus a team that just is going to rug pull and take money and run? RJ, what do you think, buddy?
Go ahead, Moonboy. Looks like you're hungry for this one.
No, I mean, I was just going to open it up. I think the biggest indicator of a successful project is just time. We've seen projects who are doxed, are audited, LP locked. They have all the workings in play for a successful project, but hack, something happens, rug pull, scam. The devs had the majority of the circulating tokens, then they dumped them. The only thing that I've seen that has proven itself is time. Every crypto has had the moment where it was considered a scam. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, pretty much everything had its moments, right? But since Ethereum has been on the market for so long, we have pretty good confidence in it, right? SafeMoon is growing that confidence, been in the market for about a year now. So I don't think any of the indicators we look for, like I said, being doxed and all the other things that we mentioned previously, I don't think that's enough these days. I mean, an audit doesn't mean that they're not going to rug. It just means that the contract is functional. It doesn't really do anything when it comes to, oh, the team is trusted and, the contract is never going to turn into a honeypot. As long as they have ownership of the contract, they can do whatever they want. So time is the best thing when it comes to if a project is going to be legitimate or not.
I mean, you just strictly speaking about time. I mean, you could have gave Enron more time. That was not a good project or company at all.
Well, that is a great point there as well. When it comes to crypto, like I said, it's very difficult, right? You can have someone hired from Fiverr to do this great introduction video for a crypto. It's people's first look at the crypto. It looks great, but it's like, they just pretty it up for you. They make it look great. They make it sound great. Usually when it comes to rugs, it happens within a couple weeks to a couple months, right? So for me, yes, you can apply time to anything else. A lot of things took decades to be revealed as scams, right? So we really don't ever know. All we can do is trust our gut and do our own due diligence and trust that we, at the very least, have our own confidence to invest and put what we're willing to lose. And that's what we do. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. If it doesn't, then, it works out and great. It's all risks.
I think maybe something that I took out of what you just said right there, the rug pulls and the scandals, if you will, they happen over a much shorter time horizon in the crypto space. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, it's very rare for a project to make it year one. Very, very rare.
Gotcha.
Usually projects go to zero within its first couple weeks to its first 4 to 6 months. You don't see legitimate projects fail that fast. And you don't see rug pulls last beyond that. So, these are just rough stuff on my head. There's no paper saying that these are definitive timelines of when you should look for. But if you look in the market and you've been through some rug pulls, we've all been through rug pulls. We all kind of see how long did it take to rug and what happened. And, usually there's this big, massive wave of community hype and marketing. And then as things die down, you kind of understand, okay, well, they just wanted to hype it up to push it as high as possible to benefit from all the gains and all the profit. And then you can see where the scam happens or the honeypot happens.
And you would say that's one of maybe the bigger indicators is just this hype news stuff that people ride?
It is one of the indicators. There's a lot of projects that I've seen, they launch, their pre-sales happening. They're on the Telegram. They have, hundreds of members and they're hyping. Guys, share it everywhere. Share it on Twitter. Do all this stuff, push it to your friends, tell your mom about it, mention to your dog, they're buying ads everywhere. They're trying to get it to as many people as fast as possible, which is what all cryptos at the end of the day want to do. They want to market and they want people to buy. But there's a way that you can kind of see how people push very hard. Usually projects that are legitimate, they kind of take their time with developing and innovating first. They kind of take their time. They don't market aggressively heavy.
They're not blasting on Twitter and all that stuff. They're taking their time with the actual,
I mean, sense. The product's going to last in the long term. They're in it for the long term. They want to develop, they want to innovate, and they want to work on the roadmap. They're not all about the big hype, paying 1,000 social media influencers, 10 BNB each and getting it as high as possible. They want to work on development first, which is the longer haul as an investor, but it's the more confident haul.
It's the better haul. Yeah,
it is.
I would agree.
If you guys don't mind me interjecting, I think it's not a perfect comparison by any means, but I think you can paint a picture for a lot of people. If you look at small businesses, any small business out there, most are going to fail, especially over the longer term. You look at that, especially if you put it like 10 years, 9 out of 10 are going to fail. And the reason being is because most people don't have the aptitude or the ability to run a successful business. It's extremely difficult to do so. So the companies that do end up going from, the company here that Microsoft started in a garage, Amazon started in a garage, they were at one point small businesses and grew to these massive empires. And so Bitcoin is one of those companies that started in a garage and grew this massive empire as a financial product. And so there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are trying to kind of copy that same level of success for their own project. They want to go from that small garage to this multi-mammoth corporations. Instead of a corporation, we're talking about a decentralized financial utility vehicle. And the issue is right now, everyone has access to essentially invest into one of these garage companies that is starting off, when especially when we're talking about DeFi and these other things that are starting off. Just like any business, most of these businesses, if you try to invest in them, are going to fail. They're not going to succeed. You're not going to get your ROI on that particular business because whoever's in charge of it is not either qualified, or they don't understand what they're getting themselves into, or whatever product or service they're offering is just not marketable or competitive in the market that they're trying to compete in. And so with cryptocurrency, you have to apply kind of similar questions to the projects that you're looking to invest in. Okay, this cryptocurrency came out. What does it aim to accomplish? What's different about this project? What is it going to do different than everybody else? If it's doing the exact same thing as everyone else, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing that's bringing people to it that's going to want people to use that. Then it's not going to last unless something is developed in the future to make that happen. And so I think it's important that people look at it through kind of an eyes of, most of these are going to fail. I need to look for people who have a winning strategy. They're going to provide something to the space that is going to benefit the space as a whole, or the holders of that particular project. And so if you look at it through that way, and you look into who's involved, you look into what they're trying to accomplish, and all these other things, if you take any one of them individually, you look at a docs, you look at an audit, you look at any aspect, tokenomics, whatever it is. If you look at solely on that one thing, I guarantee you can find a ton of other projects that have failed in that one merit alone. So it's not that you find the one merit that's going to be the golden merit of, if this company's doxed, it's a good project, or if it's audited, it's a good project. It's the accumulation of everything. What is the utility, the doxing? And some of these things can be missing as long as the other areas are solid, right? So it's a complicated thing to decide what's going to be a good project and what's not. PancakeSwap has a non-dox team. Bitcoin is a non-dox project. So although doxing is a good sign because it shows that people are putting their face on their project, it doesn't guarantee there's not a rug pull, because we've seen projects with their name blasted all over social media. It's on their website. It's everywhere. And they rug pull the project. And they'll put the same face on another project and do the same thing over and over again, because there's a false sense of security that people feel with a face being attached to a particular project. And for all you know, that's an alias and a fake fit photo anyways. So it's important to know that you should be looking at things as a collective and not strictly based on one or two merits. It should be like you're investing in any other small business and looking at it in that light of, what is this going to accomplish? And then, do I want to be a part of that journey as they go and accomplish those goals? And is this a team I can trust to get us there?
I have a golden rule to find a special project. If it ends with Inu and cash, and it starts with baby, so no matter what's in the middle, like baby, Ethereum, Inu, cash, it's going to be gold, not financial advice. Just saying.
Who is the crypto Dogecoin millionaire? What was his name?
Slum Doge millionaire.
Slum Doge.
He's rebranded a few times.
Okay, didn't he start investing in all the meme Doge coins? Like, there was a whole bunch of Inus. He was just dumping money into any Inu coin.
Yeah, he bought Floki, he bought Saitama, he bought Floki Inu, Elon, Elon Floki, like all the different variations.
He did not want to buy any blue chip. He didn't want to buy anything. He wanted to dump everything into like these meme coins, and it was just kind of funny.
And so,
you could find a lot of these meme coins on if you go to the SafeMoon wallet and you go on the top losers. Not that they're loser projects, everyone. If you want to invest in these projects that are down 99% or 100%, go right ahead. But there's a lot of flukies. There's a lot of Inus on here. There's there's some great projects if you really. But the main thing is just know who you're investing in. You know, like one of the things that's changing in the space right now is people are starting to insure the LP. I mean, I only know of one right now, but I'm sure there's more that are going to start doing it. And so you got to really look into the people that are doing it. If the person used to be a janitor at a Big Boys, it's probably not a good idea to invest in that project. You want to make sure that they have some sort of technical background. And if you don't know who it is, then obviously that could be a concern. But if you see what everyone else was talking about, that they have good intentions, they have an original idea, they're not copying someone else. They're not saying that they're doing this, this, and this. They have their own ideas. Then it might be something if you don't know who the developer is. But for the most part, just make sure that, it's not like an Inu baby cash project, one of those. It has a legit name. It has a legit roadmap with things that you haven't seen before that make a lot of sense in that space. So that's my advice. But if you want, you can always throw your money away. I could start a project. So
I know one of the things I talk, and again, I'm still very much learning this space a lot more than I can already tell you guys, very technical people, but meme coins and all that stuff. But one of the analogies I give people is just like, jokes get old, right? Like imagine your buddy telling you a joke, the same joke for 5 years in a row. Joke's eventually going to get old and they're going to go find another joke or different material. And so I'm not saying you can't make money in meme coins, but when people ask me about that, I'm just like, there's always a chance you can, but jokes get old and people end up coming up with new jokes. And whether or not you're on the right or wrong side of that equation, the odds of that working for you time and time again is very low.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, I just want to say, anyone doing super chats, just want to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to be reading all the super chats afterwards. So if you do your super chat, it doesn't get read immediately. It's going to be done afterwards. So don't worry about that. Another thing that's really important as well is I was talking about this actually, I think today or the other day, about traditional banking, traditional investments, and how do they fare versus crypto, and what is the reason why people are just, I mean, as we're seeing more and more people getting involved in crypto, no one's really getting involved in like any kind of like stocks or dividends and just going off and telling their buddies or running all around doing it. It's almost becoming old money versus new money. And why, like, what do you feel like is the reason for that? Do you feel like crypto is just relatively new, or is it just something about a crypto that makes it different than traditional banking investments that make it more, I guess, I mean, everyone calls it the Wild West, but, is it really? So what do you guys think about that?
I would say right out of the gate, and one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing to help people build their wealth is we live in a system that is not working for a lot of people in America anymore. And so, to buy a house, you need quite a bit of money to get into the stock market game and get to a point where you have enough dividends coming in. Like, this isn't the 1940s where, older people got to buy houses for $20,000. Stagflation wasn't happening. The housing market wasn't increasing by 337%. College costs are 213%. And so if I can't win in this system, and I know I can, and I know I'm not, and I'm crippled with debt, and I have all this shit on my plate, and I'm just going to be an indentured servant to this financial system, why the hell wouldn't I just take a shot at this and go, at least we can all try and see if this system works? I think that is a very underlying, powerful theme that is happening in Western society right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think personally signified to myself was recently we saw with GameStop and how they stopped you from buying, but they said you could sell, and everyone was like, they just did a cheat code in real life to everyone and screwed over everybody, and nothing's gonna happen. We were making money. The little guy, we were doing it, and now we're not. Because they hacked their own system, which we were told. I mean, once again, I went to public school in New York, but we were told that everything as far as banking is set in place and it's not going to change. It's whatever. And then IRL, we just saw it got like in real time, everything changed up. And I think for a lot of people, like I said, myself included, it was the point where you're like, okay, there's just no going back to like buying a stock and going, don't worry about it, the stock market got my back, or any of that stuff. It's more or less like, well, at least this is something that is not fully controlled. I mean, there are people that are still, don't get me wrong, going in and doing these goofy hacks and doing rug pulls. That's always going to be there, but at least I know I'm screwed and we're done, and not this allure for a while that everything's going good, I'm buying GameStop, and then boom, you hit into a brick wall, and then it's not going good because the stock, whatever you want to call it, Illuminati or whatever, they just said, no, you can't make any more money anymore. Sorry, that's for us. We were shorting that, and you stopped us from making money. But yeah, no, it's definitely something
it's super
that
irritating. It's super irritating, like, to just watch that happen and no repercussions happen. Same thing with the 2008 housing crisis. I mean, just people get hurt. Real people get hurt when people have power, greed, wealth consolidation, little man syndrome issues, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's gotten well on beyond out of control. And I think the reason this has been birthed is because of things not working. And, I tell people, like, well, what about regulations? And, China did some stuff regulatory, last year and things like that. Like, look, code is speech. Okay. And if you try and suppress speech in one country, it will pop up in another country. And like you look at the idea of freedom of speech, it's valued so much in America here. I wholeheartedly agree cryptocurrency will succeed. It will be the next future. We will have transnational digital economies working side by side with other real physical countries where someone in China is part of this transnational community with someone in America because of this blockchain system that's been built out economically.
Yeah, I get really passionate about this, and you guys need to control me and hold me back because this is something I get really passionate about, and I'm going to like snowball and just continue trolling the conversation. But when it comes to fiat currency and cryptocurrency, this is where I didn't think I would be in this place 1 year ago when I first invested into crypto, right? When I first invested into Doge, then SafeMoon, and then that led me into a deeper path of DeFi and how much fun it is to actually make money in DeFi. This is what major banks are doing right now with our money. You guys understand that, right? When we give them our money in the bank, this is why they offer us 0.1% on our savings account, because they're doing all the other stuff with our money. And then it gets even more frustrating because I'm a real estate investor as well. When you want to transfer large amounts of money, right? Hey, I want to withdraw, or I want to send Zach $5,000. I'm gonna send it to you via let's say what's the other one? Zelle. I'm gonna send it to you via Zelle. Oh wait, there's a $2,000 cap on Zelle, so I can't do it. I can only do it $2,000 today and then $2,000 tomorrow. Or if I do want to withdraw a large amount of money, the bank is there to tell me, hey RJ, you know what? Why are you withdrawing this money? Why does it matter? It's my money. Why are you telling me, or why are you asking me why I'm withdrawing a large amount of money? It's my money. Now, if you take that in the other perspective, and we're all now on crypto and blockchain technology, I've been able to transfer over $7,000, $10,000 to my friends and I back and forth sometimes when there's other projects that need to be when we're just trying to transfer large amounts of money. And we've been able to do it just like that. No bank to tell us, why are you transferring large amounts of money? No barrier or person to say, hey, we're going to put a 5-day hold on that before you can transfer that money. So I truly believe, and I just get so passionate about this, that crypto is the future. If you look at what's happening across right now with Ukraine and Russia, Bitcoin has no boundaries. Bitcoin has no borders. People are donating millions into a Bitcoin account. There's no government agency that can stop that. So I truly think that that this is the future, and people that do not want to learn it will get left behind. I'm going to stop myself there because I can keep going.
I think fundamentally the design of the banking system is it's a meme. You guys know the meme, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Nice. It's the circumstance where you're handing your money over to this party because your parents did it, your grandparents did it, their grandparents did it. It's just ingrained in our nature. We're told that, like, hey, you get this money from your job, you put it here. It's better over there than if it is inside your house. Because obviously, what if somebody comes in, breaks into your house, and you see all the security cameras, and you got these things that are presented in front of you to make you feel this sense of relief that your money is actually protected. But then you find out that they're using your money for all these different things. There's been times that the banks have been caught by doing things that were completely illegal and large penalties. What about when these banks go bankrupt, right? What happens to your money then? The reality is that they're a business. And when you hand your money over to them, it's a trust me, bro situation. You don't know fully on the back end what it is that they're doing with your money. Blockchain technology, it's all transparent. You can see it all documented. It's clear as day. And as we move forward, I think where we're going to be evolving to is that the value of blockchain technology will allow the countries to convert over from a fiat-based system to something that they can be able to track if they need to, because obviously governments want to have certain degrees of control themselves. But centrally, that's where that is. Decentralized, I think that we could see each of the countries come to a consensus and backing off of Bitcoin itself. So gold is a rare commodity. It is hard to mine, but you can lie. In fact, with Wuhan, back when the pandemic had first started, a lot of people don't know this, but one of the biggest gold scandals in the world took place in Wuhan as well. It was, I believe, billions of dollars of gold that was actually copper. It was just plated with gold. So visually, you can say, hey, look at all this gold. It's worth this much. You can write down on a piece of paper, we own X amount of gold. But then you have all these fundamental flaws. And I think cryptocurrency, blockchain technology specifically, is the next evolutionary step forward.
If you guys haven't ever seen the China Hustle documentary, I would highly recommend watching that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy with the all these banks do and whatnot. Like, they'll do something bad and they'll get fined, and the government's like, we're gonna fine you, let's say $10,000 or whatever. All right, cool. Where are you putting that money, government? In the banks. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's so stupid, but that's what they're doing, and they're doing it like constantly. This is not something that's been like, we found an issue. It's like every year they're finding something new, they're finding something corrupt, and no one's being really punished. It's the illusion of punishment to make the everyday average guy go to work.
And then they get bailed out if something goes wrong. It's just
they get bailed out.
Guess who pays for it?
We do, and when we lose everything, guess who pays for it? Nobody. the floor.
You were talking about the big banks and stuff too. Some of them actually have on their ledgers actual defined budgets for fines from the government. Like, that's how used they've gotten to. Like, we're gonna get dinged for doing unethical things, but we'll just add it to our P&L.
It must be awesome. It must be awesome, like owning a bank and knowing that, like, some of the things you do just doesn't even like whenever you do anything with work, you're like, oh, I might get in trouble, whatever. But like working a bank, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to steal $1 zillion and I might get caught, so I have to pay a fine. Well, what are you gonna do? Like, that's the kind of thing that I think, what was it? I remember they had a whole thing on like Wall Street when everything went down, and people were protesting, and whether politically, whether you're on right or left, everyone can all agree that these people constantly try to screw over the everyday average Joe. And they think we're sheep. They play us like we're sheep, because who's going to go in and knock on their door at 4 a.m. and say, hey, what's up? Turns out that thing that you got away with, we're going to tax you right now, take a car. No one's doing that. But if you don't make your bills, they'll take your car. they'll take your house. Oh, it's cold outside, minus 20 degrees. Sorry, you didn't pay the heat bill. They'll take your heat. That's how crazy it is. From these banks to crypto, like this, and this is why, once again, like me personally, like I said, this is why I hate banks, the idea of banks. RJ touched on, if you want to spend your own money, they'll tell you, they'll close your card out and go, you can't spend your own money. Sorry, it's for your safety.
You hit your daily max limit.
Your max limit,
daily max limit of my money that I own. What are you talking about?
It's your money. It's all yours. It's whatever. But you can't spend it today.
Yeah.
What?
So that's actually called fractional reserve banking. What's going on is that when you go and you make a deposit in the bank, they're lending out your money to other people. Yep. So when people say, I need a home loan, I need a car loan, I need a loan for this, that, whatever, right? You have interest rates that are being paid out to everything. Where's the money going for the bank? Where are they making that money, right? So they're taking your $100 and passing it through all these systems until the amount of money that people technically are supposed to have far exceeds that $100. There's no physical way you could actually have everyone come to the bank and say, hey, I want all my money out right now. If everyone went and did that, I think there was a study conducted and it was something like only 66% or so could actually be able to get all their money. So where's everyone else, right? It's your money. So they have to set some sort of limiter on these things, because otherwise you get mass panic sells when you have economic issues like what's going on over in these other countries right now, and with what happened in 2008.
That brings me to my next question, actually. The next topic, I should really say. Crypto being used in other countries. You saw with Russia when they shut down SWIFT, how like screwed Russia was and is, whatever you want to, whatever way you look at it, or how they shut down certain banking opportunities in Russia. Like I think it was Britain shut down one of their banks, which was like you had to do with Russia. And they kind of cut that money through. And how you're seeing in, I believe it was Ukraine, some reporters was looking to get out, and they had to get a car, but they couldn't use the money. So they had to buy the car in Bitcoin. it was like a used car in order to drive away in Ukraine, and how countries are also getting involved with crypto. And Zach, you talked about this before a little bit, but how other people in other countries are getting involved in crypto. El Salvador is involved in crypto, and all these other countries. So as time goes on, do you see that becoming more of a thing, growing within every country? Or is it something that's going to be just, hey, listen, it's war, this is a wartime thing, so we're just doing it for war? Or is something that's like is now going to be more noticeable with every country, everyone out there?
I think overarchingly, yes, we are going to see that. Obviously, the blockchain world, the cryptocurrency world, it's still finding its legs. There is still not mass adoption. Mass adoption will happen when the knowledge behind it isn't required. Okay. Do I know step by step exactly how a text happens in order for me to text you, or how I connect to the internet, or how a website works? No. But do I know how to navigate it? Do I know how to send the text? Do I know how to make the call? Yes. That is when mass adoption will happen. Will I see it? Will that ultimately end up expanding across different countries? Absolutely. It's just going to depend on who's going to be the first mover. That's maybe going to take a little bit of punishment. And even if you are the first mover, that doesn't mean you're going to have success. It's things like Yahoo Mail. They got reamed even though they were first movers. Whereas, my company that was a biotech company, when I was doing medical device sales, we were the first mover on a DNA sequencing thing for thyroid cancer. We own 70% of the market. If you execute correctly, like what's the country? El Salvador? Is that the one that the legal if it's executed on appropriately and you're a first mover, there's a lot to be had there. You can also run the risk of doing it poorly. And again, who knows if different countries start generating their own crypto things? That sounds like that government might get involved with that. But there is a reason I have become heavily interested. I've moving a 1% to a 10% position of my net worth into cryptocurrencies. I see the future. I don't want to be the person that goes like the guy that in the beginning of the automobile era that goes, this is stupid. We should stick to horses. This is dumb. This is dangerous. There's no way. And look at how amazing automobiles are and what they've done globally, logistically for our world. I don't want to be the person on the other side of that equation that's going, this technology is stupid. If you're saying that and you're seeing people say that and you're seeing resistance from government, it generally means you're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. What do you think, Tim? How do you feel towards like countries getting involved in crypto? And is it going to be something that's going to be a situational thing or grow as time goes on?
I definitely think it's going to become global at some point. With the way that money transfers work right now and how long it takes to get certain funds approved, I think crypto is the future. So I think that's something that's going to come along in the near future. But it's going to have to break away from that banking system that they currently have a hold of. So there's going to be the countries that are not as corrupt that are going to take on cryptocurrency first, I believe, because the corrupt countries that have control of the financial system, that have all their things that are hidden in finances, they're not going to be the ones to adapt to it as soon as the other countries that are more transparent. But eventually, I think through time, everyone's going to get onto the crypto bandwagon because world currencies are losing money like crazy. The value of the dollar is falling like crazy. In fact, all crypto, or not all currencies, fiat currencies, are losing their value quickly. And so just the way of cryptocurrency as it's an asset that gains value, I believe it's going to just take off in the future and everyone's going to be adopting it. And you see countries now getting more involved with it. And as it becomes more, and all these countries are going to be FOMOing, right? So they're all going to be the fear of missing out. They're all going to diamond fist into it. And I think it's the future. And I think, obviously what would have happened if Russia had cryptocurrency set up prior to what's going on now? They may have not been able to lock their contracts. But then again, SafeMoon has, if you look at SafeMoon, they can blacklist the wallet. So wouldn't that be would it still be possible to blacklist a country's wallet if they're doing vacuum bombs or nuclear bombs on countries? Could you lock their cryptocurrency? So look at what happened with Ethereum as well. So they did you have Ethereum Classic and you have regular Ethereum. The original Ethereum got hacked. So is that something that they could do with that and they could block that off and fork it off? I don't know, but I think that cryptocurrency is coming and we're early into it, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see the future play out with it.
Dark Moon Tim Inu. I'm buying.
You could buy me. You could buy me all night long.
I'm buying. I don't need to read a white paper. I'm gonna FOMO in day one.
I have no programming experience.
Perfect.
I'm gonna release ice cream. It's gonna be an NFT ice cream. You can actually eat the NFT. It's gonna taste delicious.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, it'll.
You muted yourself, bro. What are you doing?
Good thing I muted myself because what I said was inappropriate.
Just know that Safe Moon Tim Inu is gonna have a pre-sale.
It's Dark Moon Tim,
Dark Moon.
Yeah, Safe Moon Tim. That already rugged.
Oh,
so.
Already? Yeah. I mean, that. Well, what are you gonna do, huh?
I rug my own projects all the time.
Yeah, that's a selling point right now. It's honesty.
Yeah, so I think more cryptocurrencies should just name themselves hardwood. You can't rug hardwood, right? So there's a smart hardwood Inu.
Crisis averted.
The new thing with cryptos is not to say that you rugged, it's to say you were hacked. That's the trick.
Yes.
No, we weren't rugged, because then you can legally come at me. We were hacked. That is something my bad. There was a back door in my house and I fell asleep and it got robbed. But that's not on me. I just left the door open. That's it. Not on me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they have to do if they're doxxed, right? Because if they're doxxed and they say that they rugged the project and ran away with the money, obviously people are going to go at them. So the next best thing is to just say, hey, you know what? We got hacked. We didn't build the code right. We left the back door and people came in and took it. See you later. We're done. We're done with the project. We're walking away. We're not going to develop it any further. And those people are living in the Cayman Islands next to Moonboy, enjoying their tax-free haven. And we're sitting here thinking, where did my money go? But yeah, that's why people do that. And they're saying they're getting hacked so they don't have to take responsibility for what they just done to people. And so like that goes to show you, it doesn't matter if the project is doxed, right? Because even if you're out there in the open space and everyone knows who you are, it doesn't protect you from people stealing your money. So just know that it's some people feel more comfortable when they know who's behind the project, because they feel like they can't be rugged, but that's definitely not the case. There are so many projects that I literally went through a list on SafeMoon Wallet. If you go to the top losers, there's probably like 30 on there that rugged today. Because there's what do they say? There's like 1,000 new projects a day. So, I mean, every day you're just going to see people running away with other people's money. It's ridiculous.
Being hacked.
Being hacked.
I didn't rug you guys. I got robbed too. I got to go. I got to go and be upset about this. Where Moonboy lives. Moonboy, when are you gonna go?
You dogging on my country, man. Yeah, we are a tax-free haven. We don't pay tax over here. We just set up shell companies and we send our money through there. You guys do it all the time. People in America love setting up their countries in my country. You guys want to register your countries here, and based off of tax. I'm not a tax guy. I don't know tax, and I pay tax in my life. But based off of what I know. Setting up your country here, you can avoid, it seems to be like 80% of the amount of tax you would otherwise have to pay. So smart on you guys, you saving money, but that's not my fault. You guys are abusing my country's privileges.
Where are you going to go on vacation since you live where we would go on vacation?
I like New York. I'm a big fan of New York. Yeah, bro. I love New York, bro.
Crazy?
Why?
How
New York
crazy is that?
Bro, New York is a place to be. I love Orlando. That's where I go. We don't have cities here. I don't live in a city. It's not even a village. So you have like these little sectors of like land, and then little couple houses are on the line, but we don't have a bunch of population of people in one area. It's like spread out through the entire country. So we don't have these, massive skyscrapers, and we don't have tall buildings. It's kind of like 2-story, 3-story buildings, and people work in these small little, buildings and banks. So I like going to a city because I don't get to see cities on a daily basis. The beach is very boring. The sun is boring. The sun is boring. What am I gonna do? How many times
the hot woman is so boring.
Been on a canoe. I've been on a boat so much. Like I don't want to do that anymore. So I want to get stuck in traffic in New York. That's incredible. So
trust me, there's tons of it.
New York is awesome.
You want to get robbed? New York's the place to be, though. You'll get jumped for shoes that you gotta pay less.
You have to pay taxes when you're getting jumped. So
Nice.
You owe me 30% on that stealing. Yeah.
For $1 and give you your wallet back. Like,
yeah, I don't know why you guys want to come down here.
You think
like,
that's a joke where they just passed legislation that stolen items still need to be paid tax? That was a recent thing.
Are you serious?
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, I love this country. Love it.
Yeah, if you guys didn't hear that, the IRS made a big old announcement about the stolen items need to be reported as income.
Look at Moon Boy. He just doesn't understand.
Is that a big deal? I don't know.
More like you got to pay money on things.
So this all seems like a scam. You guys make money. You have to pay per purchase. If I go to the store, if I pay gas, you have to pay tax for that. Also, the money I make per year is also taxed. I live in this country. There's also state tax that I have to pay to live in this state. If I live in California, apparently it's like 30 or 40% tax. What is the point? You don't have free healthcare.
To bail out the banks.
Right. And you forgot about local tax too. There's local tax. So you have local tax, state tax, federal tax, sales tax.
When you buy like bread, you pay tax also on that as well.
This does nothing for the citizens of the country. This seems like a very barbaric way of structuring. Where does money come from to fund to the government to then have to pay for other things that they're messing up and they need to fix? Why are you paying for their mess up when they're not paying for your mess up? Are they helping you? That
they get free healthcare. They get raises whenever they want it. No, they do.
We don't.
They do.
We don't get that.
The politicians get it.
Oh yeah,
and they get raises and everything. So.
Yep. But God forbid we do anything to raise minimum wages or anything like that, because that's what's causing the problems in this world. Yeah.
That right there has to be the biggest reason for a protest. And I don't see a protest coming out of America. What are you guys doing? Taxes seem for me, someone that's on the outside looking in. That's a big
freedom.
Scam.
We have freedom, boy.
No, we have two guys. They blame it on each other. That's why they don't know who to get mad at. They're like, hey, it's that guy who did it. No, it's that guy that did it.
We have to pay a premium to live in a country where if another country starts with us, we just look at them and go, you want to start? And they just go, sorry. Because we have like our boys that are like other countries that would jump them. Freedom.
Man,
we pay for that.
I hear what you guys have to do when it comes to filing taxes on your crypto earnings or crypto losses, all the nonsense stuff when it comes to having to calculate every single receipt. That's no way to live. That is a massive injustice. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It just sucks. I don't know what is the benefit of living in America. Hey, I'm not shitting on America. Chill. Hands up. But it doesn't sound fun.
If you are
America.
Yeah.
I will gladly pay taxes for Uncle Sam to look at other countries and point my gun at them and go, shut up, we're free. I love this country so much. I will pay the premium on everything. I'll pay the money I earn, that money I get, I'll pay taxes on. And then when I go spend that money, I'll pay taxes on it because I love this country so, like I'm like super duper in love with this country. Bro. So I love the idea of like, I'll pay it as long as my country just like smacks other countries around and doesn't want to take like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what sucks, I think, is that even if you give up your citizenship, I think for the next 10 years, although you're technically not American, you still pay tax. It doesn't matter if you move out the country,
trader's
whatever.
Tax.
You were born here, 10 years from the point of you giving up citizenship, you still pay tax. Yo, you guys are in prison.
Good.
That is not fun.
No, that's called trader's tax. They have to pay to leave. Goddamn trader. Who wants to get rid of?
You guys don't have freedom. You can't move how you want to move. You can't do what you want to do. You can't do what you want with your money.
No, you could. The answer is money.
I think it is freedom, but it's faux freedom. And what I mean by that is like there are a lot of people in this world that want to be sheep. They don't want true freedom. True freedom could potentially fall into complete chaos and things like that. True freedom could also work very harmoniously if the right people are working together and things like that. But I think, yes, I agree with your statement. You guys aren't really free. There is a bandwidth of freedom that exists, and we operate within that bandwidth because I like my house. I like my car. I like my security. I like my comfort. I like my safety. True freedom has none of those things. And that's a very scary and dangerous place that a lot of people don't want to be.
Yep. I am actually also learning in the chat here that you guys also pay for property tax. So that is new to me. This is just another thing.
Pay to keep your shit.
What is this? Can you guys?
You don't pay your property tax. They take your house.
Yeah, it's paid
even after you own it. Even after you own it. Even after you pay off the entire mortgage note, you still have to pay taxes on your land.
And
so
it's a lot of money.
My home has no mortgage, no loan, but if I don't pay tax, I lose it.
Right. If you pay off of what they say it's worth too. So they will say, hey, your house is worth this amount of money. Your land's worth this amount of money. You owe us this amount of money every year. If you don't pay that, we'll take it from you.
Sounds like a third world country. Is this real?
This is real, dude.
That is wild.
We're not messing with you.
Yeah.
This country runs on money and freedom, but freedom is only attainable if you have enough money.
Correct.
Like you get more freedom.
Really good statement.
You get more freedom if you have more money. If you don't have a lot of money, you get freedom, but like you get like the starter package of freedom.
Starter package.
So the more money you have, the less tax you pay. So you need money to be free.
No. The more money you have, the less tax you pay. The less money you have, it's the opposite. So if you have more money, you pay less taxes. If you have less money, you pay more taxes.
But isn't there a thing about Donald Trump only paying like $6,000 a year on his taxes?
There's loopholes.
He seems like he doesn't pay much at all.
So there's different types of taxes, and what they're talking about is that when you have money, you can pay people to work the system, so you pay less proportionally. But even with that, the top earners in the country still pay a majority of the taxes. So the top 10% pay, I think it's like 60-something% of all taxes in the United States. But the amount of hit it does to you personally is more severe when you're a small guy. And I mean, you're making $40,000 a year. The amount you're paying in taxes is more impactful to you personally because of the percentages, right? You're paying. It may only be, 20% of your income, but 20% of 40,000 isn't like, it's not leaving you very much to buy food, to take care of your rent, to take care of everything else you got to take care of in life. So even the big guy who's paying a lot more, he still has all that breathing room and all that freedom to do what he wants, even though he pays a larger share and more proportionally of what he earns, if that makes sense.
But the big guy who is paying,
it's a small relative portion of their entire net worth, right, Drew? I mean, would that be a fair statement?
Yeah. So if you take by the amount of people that money comes in versus the amount of taxes paid out, the top earners pay more proportionally to what they earn. That's just a fact. You can look it up by statistics under the IRS. However, because when you're making $10 million, even if you pay half of that, $5 million in taxes, you have $5 million to do what you want with your life, right? So you still have ultimately a lot more freedom. If you're making $40,000, right? You're making $40,000 and you pay $5,000 in taxes, even though that's a significantly way less money that you're paying, and you're actually getting more out of the system that you're putting in, that $5,000 hurts more because of the cost of everything to live. Does that make sense?
I mean,
now,
it
whether
does.
people agree with that on whether they think that taxes should go up or down, I'm just talking about what statistically is happening.
Right. I think maybe I'm on a different wavelength with you, but you look at companies like Apple and Amazon and all these companies with offshore accounts that aren't paying taxes, that are worth billions, they have billions and billions and billions of cash, and
trillions.
And they've acquired all of the cash and the opportunities to succeed in this world, but they're not now paying back into that system. And so again, what happens is you have these billionaires and these billionaire entity companies hoarding money, and it's just sitting there piling up. What do we need to do? Oh shit, print more money. Okay, it gets soaked up again. Now what do we do? Shit, print more money. Like, dude, aliens could land on Earth and the Fed would be like, we gotta print more money,
and then it's worth less. So we have less.
Actually worthless, exactly. And like,
yeah.
I agree with you,
I
Zach.
think capitalism's gotten it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying. What I was talking about specifically was individual taxes. I'm not talking about corporate tax, right? That's, in my opinion, that's a totally different animal.
But a corporate is an individual entity legally, and
legally, you are 100% right. What I was talking about was individual tax based upon like Jeff Bezos' tax that he pays versus Elon Musk versus Joe Schmo. Okay. On that level,
an actual
that is all
physical
true.
person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Corporations. Okay. I mean, we can get into that, and I don't want to get too political because we're supposed to be on finance. But no, you're fine. You're fine. But yes, I agree with you. Corporations get a lot of let's just say unequal rights as far as what they can do with that money and how it's treated.
Correct.
And what they end up doing with that money. I mean, like we talked about, Apple has a reserve account of multi-billions of dollars that just sits in a pile and goes nowhere. So it just it's out of the circulation. And so, it causes scarcity. And so there's more money printing to keep everything circulating. Yep. So
I blame Moonboy. Every single time we always tell Moonboy Oh, look, Moonboy pays no taxes. He goes and turns it around, and look at where we always end up.
Well,
I'm dead ass.
This all sounds like corruption to me. I mean, you said
look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, like this is corruption. I mean, you have someone who is up here. So you said that usually people with money can pay the system to somehow pay less tax.
CPAs, lawyers, yeah, you can leverage people
But
that know certain
Loopholes.
things. Yeah,
Write-offs.
Sounds like a bunch of corruption to me.
Donations.
I don't think
It
anyone's
is.
denying it.
There's no question it's not corrupt,
Yeah,
but
for
the
sure.
thing
It's
is, you
not
got to
going
realize
anywhere.
is, I want to get to the corrupt rich person's level. Everybody ideally wants to get to the corrupt rich person's level. You just
You
gotta
guys
work
all
your way
wanna be
up there.
corrupt. You guys
Eventually, hopefully.
set up.
Wish me
You're
luck.
on the wrong path.
Set up
You're on the
shell
wrong
companies.
path, Joe.
Register your shell companies in the Cayman Islands and just
wish me
pay
luck.
tax.
My army
Right.
of lawyers and
What everyone does.
CPAs.
Hey, Joe, can I present a question to the panel?
Of course.
Okay, so with the war that's going on, and this does tie into crypto, so I'm trying to keep it very minimal on the political spectrum here. But with the war that's going on with Russia's invasion to Ukraine, as was noted earlier during this roundtable, we have identified that many people have been sending Bitcoin primarily over to people in the Ukraine to go show support for them. What are your opinions on the future of cryptocurrency regulations, political figures making statements on these things, because we are at a risk right now of cybersecurity threats that we have not had in a very long time. And we're seeing organizations such as Anonymous, who's already partaking in these things, Russia, which had partaked in Ukraine's own internal systems there as well. And obviously, when we deal with cryptocurrency, we're dealing with digital-based assets. Do you guys have any specific thoughts, opinions, ideas of what might end up playing out from this, whether it be from the United States or specific other countries?
I think when we're talking about digital security of assets, do I trust more that my bank is going to get hacked, or do I trust more that the blockchain is going to get hacked? And I will say, without any inkling of doubt, that I much rather trust the blockchain than whatever bank system I currently have, because that's going to be the primary target for any of these people. And it's hacking individual wallets is relatively, I wouldn't say it's easy, but there's ways to do that by SIM card hacks and all those other things that you can do to spoof people's information and gain access to their funds, right? That's why we preach to everybody to keep your 12-word seed phrase off of your digital device. That's why we talk about all these safety practices, because there are ways to get access to that one individual wallet. But to hack the entire blockchain, that's a tall order, right? That's extremely difficult to do. And so when you're comparing that versus, the fiat system, I would much rather trust the blockchain over any fiat system that's in existence now.
Allow me to clarify just briefly before you guys do continue on. I see the biggest threat that might be addressed by political parties would be the centralized exchanges, where there are still very large amounts of crypto funds that are housed internally on those. And as we have seen with Mt. Gox and Bitmart, many of these exchanges, they do get prone to being hacked. And that's a lot of funds. Billions of dollars is potentially at stake there. So how could the regulatory process, especially with Joe Biden mentioning that he's going to be saying something, I don't know if he did it tonight or not, but he's supposed to be talking about some things on crypto here in the near future. And with what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, these cybersecurity threats, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I just wanted to go back to Drew really quickly. This is just kind of an educational moment for me. But to my understanding, in order for someone to successfully rig or game a blockchain, you would have to have more computational power to forge that ledger. Am I understanding that correctly?
It depends a little bit on which system you're using, but traditionally for proof of work systems, that is correct.
Okay.
So essentially what you'd have to do is you would have to outperform the blockchain for a certain number of blocks before that block would be considered valid, because it takes the longest blockchain as the most accurate, and then it's based upon who has the opportunity to do it. So you would have to be, you as the hacker, the group of hackers would have had to be the ones creating the next block for multiple blocks in a sequence in order to be able to be the ones to validate.
Forcing yourself to be the next blocks in sequence. I got you.
Yep, okay. And to put fraudulent notes on that ledger. And so the computational power it would require to do something like that is just, it's not
relative to going and attacking a bank that has some type of internal centralized system.
Exactly. The amount of computational power, we don't have that to any human knowledge that would be able to successfully hack a blockchain to that level.
Yep.
It just doesn't exist.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That helped me.
The Apple M2 chip could probably do it. I'm just saying.
I already know this guy's being sarcastic. I don't even know what he's talking.
No, dude, M2 chip that's coming out.
All right,
probably do it in 15 seconds.
Minimal.
M1 chip is so dang fast. I love this thing.
Dude, but, M2 chip.
Imagine what the M2 chip can do. Now, in regards to what you're saying, Atlas, and piggybacking off what Generation is saying, yeah, I actually, not financial advice, right? I took the vast majority of my blue chips off of central exchanges and put it into my cold storage wallet, which is actually my Ellipal. So because of recent events, right? Adam Bergman created a video on this, super informative video if you guys haven't seen it yet, in regards to a couple days back about the Canada stuff, right? Where Trudeau is asking central exchanges to block and lock down these wallets. That's crazy. And then to piggyback off that, you have the CEO of Kraken, which I used to use, a major central exchange player, telling people to take your money off of central exchanges. That's loud. That's very loud, right? He even tweeted it. He had several articles on it. And so I used to keep my blue chip cryptos, my Bitcoin, my Ethereum on Celsius, right? Because Celsius paid like 4% or 5% on my Bitcoin and like 4% on Ethereum and so forth and so forth. But in my mind, the 4% APY I'm getting on Celsius is not worth it if the government can turn around one day and say, hey, lock down everyone's crypto. Right now, it's national security, lock them all down. And now I have no access to my blue chip cryptos, which is essentially, a big portion of my portfolio. So because of that, and because of what Kraken did, and because of what Trudeau and Canada did, I put all my blue chip on a hardware wallet. So like what Generation was saying, if I were to hedge, if I were a betting man, if I would rather keep my stuff in central exchanges prone to cyber attacks or the blockchain, I would rather hold my stuff on the blockchain and hold my own private keys.
Well, I mean,
I believe that I may have pitched this question a little bit incorrectly.
God damn it, Atlas.
Sorry.
I'm just joking.
The point that I'm trying to get to is that what do you think political figures will end up evaluating with all of this? Do you think that they are going to start rolling out new regulations, or do you think they're going to be more endorsing what's going on with crypto because of the war right now?
It's possible. So you want to go, Generation?
Well, yeah, it's just really quick.
Yeah, go.
Politicians will be the last to endorse cryptocurrency. And here's the thing. We all know, and regardless of political affiliation, that they're all corrupt. I think that goes without saying. And so the government is corrupt. I don't care if it's the United States or it's all the way down to some whatever you deem the most corrupt government ever. They're all corrupt. They have corruption to some level. The degrees of corruption vary. All of them being on the blockchain means every single one of the transactions that they're making is now public record. Anyone can see, hey, they passed this bill that's supposed to go towards this project. Where'd the money go? Why is it going into Representative so-and-so's pocket? Why is it going to their grandmother? Or why is it going to whatever this was that's not associated with the project it was supposed to go funded towards? So now you have all of the money undisputed and traceable, where it's going and what it's doing. That's the last thing any politician or government official or lifetime government officials, the people that aren't voted for, that get put into some level of power, whether it's this or government organization or the other, that are there in a career for 40 years and make a lot of the major decisions anyways. They're the ones making a lot of these decisions and pushing money around, moving things in shady ways. And so they're the last people that are going to want to support the idea that all the transactions that they're making now are public record and traceable. So that's the last thing that they're going to endorse. And there's going to be politicians and big banks and big corporations that are not going to want that, because all of a sudden everything that they're doing is visible to the entire public.
I think not only even visible at a higher level too. I'm not a communist. I'm not whatever. Capitalism has worked very well and has gotten us where we're at, but it's starting to show stress fractures. It's starting to show that it is not working for a lot of people. And unfortunately, how does capitalism run? I constantly need to be consuming something. I constantly need to have revenue coming in. The majority of the workforce needs to constantly be working. There's a reason retirement accounts are supposed to push money into a retirement account, into a 401k, and then use it when you're 60. If a majority of us start retiring earlier, and you don't have a majority of a work system working and consuming and creating revenues and bottom lines for businesses, capitalism doesn't really work if you can't plug those three things into the piece. And so, I don't know what the next chapter looks like, but I'm parlaying off of Drew's thought, which I agree with 100%. But I think there's some type of regenerative or sharing economy with a wealth redistribution that's going to need to happen, because what we're currently doing just isn't sustainable. Flat and true.
Tim, you want to say something on that?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the politicians are going to let it go without a fight, because they're losing their edge. This is how they control the system. This is how they control everything. And if they lose their edge, especially all these old people that worked the system for years, if they lose it, they're going to be pissed. And they're paying all the politicians to get in there, right? All these bankers and all these corporations, they're putting these politicians in there to vote for what they want. So it's going to be even harder to get it through, just like anything that the American public wants. We want certain things, we never get it. They talk about that they're going to do it, but the second that they have someone transfer them a large fund of money, they forget about what they forget about the people who needed them to do what they needed to do, and they don't end up doing it. And those people that are always going to fund their campaigns, because that's the biggest problem about all this, is if you want to become a political figure, you're going to need a large amount of money. Who has a large amount of money? These banks that are corrupt. They're just going to pay to get their politicians in there. And that's a situation that I don't think is going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. But I hope it does. But I think cryptocurrency is the future, but it's going to take a while to get through all this politics stuff. And when they do decide to go over to blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, they're gonna make it so it outweighs them and gives them a bigger advantage somehow. I already know it. It's not going to be the definance that we know, the DeFi space. They're gonna want control over it. They're not going to allow people to be free and open and everyone to be equal, because that's never been the case. So that's just my opinion on it. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion.
One thing DeFi does, and crypto does, is allows you basically almost to become your own bank. The bank shut down on weekends, or let's say you live in Ukraine, the bank's just not letting anything happen transaction-wise. With DeFi, within your own phone, at your own house, you now have more control over funds than you would be in majority of other situations, whether it's the weekends, whether it's a special holiday banks don't be open on, or whether it's moving a good sum of money that your bank will normally say no that you can. And I think what banks are really fearful of is them losing power, and the power going to the individual, which allegedly they always said they were doing things to help the individual, but it kind of locks us in. And what we're seeing is other companies get involved. We're seeing like Airbnb is looking to add crypto. Certain parts of the government is looking to accept your tax payments in crypto. So I guess the question for the whole panel is, if you could choose any entity, whether it's a company, government, what have you, obviously United States overall, but like just any entity, Apple, whatever, to accept crypto, which one would it be and why? We'll go in order. We'll start with Crypto Atlas.
Good question. I would say, which company provides the most versatile amount of things? And so the first one that pops in my head would probably be Amazon. I could buy groceries. I could buy lots of rinky-dink items. There's all kinds of stuff that are listed on Amazon. So if anything was to start mass adopting the acceptance of crypto, I would want to have as many versatile options of things that I could spend it on. So I'd probably go with Amazon.
All right. What about you, Generation?
I was thinking the same thing that Atlas said. So obviously Amazon would be a clear, obvious choice, because that's the marketplace where all their corporations or smaller enterprises are going to come together to sell their goods and services, thereby incorporating those companies into those trades through Amazon. If I can't say Amazon, I would probably say something like the PayPal and Venmo systems. That way it's peer-to-peer, and then people can start to trade one with another. And that gives an educational opportunity. Say, hey, I'm going to send you some Bitcoin on Venmo instead of going to send you US dollars. well, why would I want this? Or why do I want SafeMoon? Why do I want Ethereum? Why do I want whatever it is, Cardano? Why do I want this project over $? And that gives an educational opportunity for people to learn on a peer-to-peer level. If I couldn't choose Amazon, I would go with those options, peer-to-peer stuff.
All right, RJ, the answers get harder and harder as it goes on.
I know. I feel bad for Zach and Tim down there. You guys are going to have some whack answers. I can feel it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No, the Amazon ones are really, really good. That's very smart. I will have to go with Apple. And the reason I say Apple is because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Apple did announce on February 9th of this month that they are looking to enable crypto payments with tap to pay by the end of 2022, right? So they're already looking to get that built out. Now, if you can get that to built out, so the whole tap to pay, because right now on my iPhone, right, I have my crypto.com loaded in here, so I can double tap it and it'll pay with my crypto.com card. But as you guys know, I have to top up my crypto.com, if you guys don't know that. But if they enable tap to pay with crypto, right, now I can pay with Bitcoin, I can pay with Ethereum, whatever I want. That's going to propel with such a visible and large company like Apple. If that gets enabled, tap to pay with crypto, I think that's really going to help propel this towards that mass adoption that we're all looking for.
Nice. All right, what do you think, Zach?
I will say this before I go into mine. My fear with these big companies, I understand where the intention there is the adoption happens faster, but they're still operating under an old narrative and an old story where there's still very much government control, regulations, things like that. And my fear is that they lasso this one, they figure out how to do it correctly with Apple, and now the narrative just continues. And, you know, as great as we wanted to see the things happen in the crypto space, they're diminished, they're marginalized, and that starts trudging and becoming a longer story. With that said, I'm not really sure, but immediately where my head went to is, as of 2017, your personal information is more valuable than a barrel of oil as of 2017. So there's a large dollar amount on your information. And if that can get correlated somehow into the social media constructs, the social media big businesses where cryptocurrency is now being used as a currency to exchange information, it's still cynical. It still doesn't really change the narrative, but because that's the most expensive, or that's the most precious commodity as of 2017, if there was an adoption somehow to be implemented there and used there, I think things would start taking off very fastly for the blockchain and cryptocurrency space.
All right, Tim, what you got, buddy?
I forgot the question.
All right, if you could choose one major entity to use crypto, whether it's a government function or for a public function and whatnot, what would it be? So like Amazon, PayPal was said, stuff like that.
SafeMoon?
And any crypto, but yeah, preferably SafeMoon. You know,
could I say that I want SafeMoon to control it all with their POS system? Not piece of shit. Point of sale. So just because every time I say POS, everyone's like, oh, that's piece of. No, man, it's point of sale. Get with it. But yeah, I think that obviously Apple Pay, Amazon, these places, it's going to make it a lot easier to adopt cryptocurrency. But if you do have cryptocurrencies that are actually tech companies as well, that are developing technology to allow you to spend the cryptocurrency that they have, I think that's going to make it a lot easier as well. So if they're making an ecosystem and they're making products and technology that allow you to buy their crypto, then use it anywhere you want to purchase anything you want, I think that's going to bring on a lot more adoption in the space. Now, obviously, it is a lot easier for bigger companies that are more established to start making it easier for people. But I'm a fan of the little guy. I would like to see the underdog win and take over these corporate entities, which that I don't really support, because I think they are the problem with the world as we see it. Like Amazon, the way that they are controlling everything, the way that they are destroying small businesses. The bigger businesses have it a lot easier and they take more from the smaller businesses. I think it's awesome, the SafeMoon Connect, where it's easy for a small business that's on Web 2.0 to move over to Web 3.0 to start taking orders, to take cryptocurrencies such as SafeMoon through their Connect system and through their POS system. So I hope something like SafeMoon comes out and saves the day and gets rid of these giant corporations that pretty much just control everything right now, that are not being valuable to the societies that we live in. So that's my opinion. And plus, they have no care in the world. I mean, the person that owns it has so much money. He's like, oh man, I'm super rich. Let me just build rockets and fly my ass into space, you know? So like he doesn't care to give back or even do good with his money rather than do that. So I hope SafeMoon, because they are trying to get on this green technology and they're trying to like make a difference in underdeveloped countries, I want to see that project flourish.
Darkmoon Tim for president.
Thanks.
So do you mean like an authorized.net, but like with crypto instead? Is it something like that?
Well, it's safemoon.com now, if that's what you're asking. Not
No. I'm saying no. Well, it's not up yet. The website's not up yet, but no. Like authorized.net, like as a way to like if you want to buy online, you know, there's online portals, and one of them is like, you know, like PayPal as a payment portal, but and the other one's like authorized.net. I mean, so something like a payment portal online via crypto. That's easily implemented, like kind of like how PayPal can easily be implemented, or if you're a retailer, you use authorized.net, and that'll be an easy implementation. So you mean something like that, but with crypto instead? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, I mean, SafeMoon's basically building that, aren't they? I mean, look at what PayPal is, and look at what SafeMoon's doing. PayPal has their own wallet where you can have money in it. They have their own exchange on it, and they have their own card with it. So if that's exactly what SafeMoon's doing, you're going to have the MasterCard if you want to take it to a store that doesn't have like, you know, that you want to go to physically to. You have your digital wallet, which if you want to buy something online where you can connect to the companies to. And if you want to use another currency other than SafeMoon, you want to use Bitcoin, you want to use Dogecoin, you can go on their exchange and you can buy that cryptocurrency and use it at any of those locations, because that's something that they said that you're going to be able to do. So they are basically building the PayPal. So I think that's the system that they're going to be setting up for you to connect to all these online places and real life places to actually spend your cryptocurrency. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it was more like just understanding, because I mean, like the way SafeMoon is and the way they're trying to connect, you know, connecting to the retailer. Would it be more of a between SafeMoon to the retailer, or SafeMoon just using themselves as more of a payment platform? Or would it be something that's, you know what I'm saying, like individually go to retail, let's say like Firestone, and say, hey, listen, you can buy Firestone, we'll work with Firestone. So when you buy Firestone SafeMoon wallet, we'll work something out, where there's a reward system for the buyers, things like that, or is something more like a payment platform, whereas you'll get SafeMoon, use it like an API, you know, connected to like a website, let's say, so any website. So now you can connect to the Firestone, or Firestone can add it on the API, and then buy and then choose that portal. Instead of like, you know, you choose portals like your PayPal or debit card, and then do it that way. It's like a more direct port, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to make it like that. And I think they're giving options to all the companies as well. So I hope that it works. They're going to try to give incentives to the companies by using and accepting cryptocurrency. So that's the idea behind it. I don't know exactly what incentives they're going to give them, but I think they're going to be doing both. They're going to say, hey, look, you accept it. How about we do a deal with it? You use cryptocurrency, you save X amount of dollars, or you get X amount in rewards of SafeMoon by accepting SafeMoon at your place. So there's probably different ways they're going to incentivize companies to use their system over other people out there, and hopefully they'll buy into it. If I got that right. I'm not sure if I...
100%. So, Moonboy, I got you can answer the last question, but I want to add another question as well. SafeMoon's having their birthday month. What do you think is going to be the most significant thing within the birthday month?
Man, you guys slaughtered that question. I have zero to add. What am I supposed to say? We have these superstars here, and I'm going last. I can't add anything. You know, I don't even have Walmart in my country. I will say if Walmart became the leader when it comes to accepting cryptocurrency, due to it seems like it's the hub when it comes to buying anything, I think that would be a massive statement. But when it comes to the month of March, and we're talking about the SafeMoon birthday and this whole month of celebration, well, we know there's some correlation to SafeMoon 32 and the 3rd of or March the 2nd, which is going to be tomorrow. So I know a lot of the community have been hyping that up. 32 means March the 2nd. What is happening tomorrow? And I feel like we keep getting in this period to where we almost build up these hints that SafeMoon drops. And we expect some massive revolutionary, groundbreaking piece of news that when it doesn't hit, people are upset. FUD, X, Y, and Z. So I don't know if I'm expecting anything. We know that the blockchain is not going to be coming out this month based off of what John Crane said. They haven't even wrote the code, although it's only 10% of the entire 100% pie. They haven't even started the code yet. The exchange, kind of up in the air. We don't know what's going on there. I'm speculating maybe Q2, Q3. What can SafeMoon do in the month of March that's going to be bullish enough to matter and warrant an appropriate celebration for their birthday? An exchange listing. It needs to be an exchange listing. I don't see anything else that they can do that is significant enough to do what people want, which is move the price. People want the price to move and people want volume to increase to incentivize more reflections. They're listing a lot of swap tokens, which the more tokens that get listed on the swap is going to increase volume overall. But for the month of March, I would love to see the completion of the exchange. The 2 exchanges that we were promised, back in December, now we're promising Q1. I want to see that come to fruition. Whatever the exchanges are at this point, I am almost at a point where I don't care what it is. Let's get listed somewhere and let's move the needle on those ideas. The blockchain, the exchange is, for me, based off of what I've seen and what the community is saying, and John with his hints in Discord, I don't think it's going to be March. So beyond exchange listings, perhaps the merch they could drop this month. They probably could maybe drop another video. I know, John looks to be in the Gambia. He took a picture of him traveling. And he also took a picture from the aircraft downwards, and we can kind of see the landscape below. It looks like he's in the Gambia. So maybe he's trying to do some recording over there for another hype video with more info that we don't know. I am not massively hopeful for anything that's incredibly bullish for March. We've all been there. I don't want to feed too deep into all the hints and news and hype. But at the very least, if you're asking me what I would like to see on the birthday celebration, leading to an exchange listing and bringing the idea of global tokenomics to the market and that actually working and getting info on how that works, that would be all I would love. I would love that. I'm not going to ask for the blockchain or the exchange. Like I said, most likely Q2, Q3 based off of what we're looking at and based off of what John is hinting at. So exchange listings for me is what I would love to see in the birthday celebration.
Dude, I want to take this. I want to take this really quick. He is straight up building the turbines. Why the hell else is he over there? I think they are starting the energy grid. This is what they've been doing. He was looking at those GSI reports. He's figuring out where to put the wind turbines. The Fudhound was over there. He was getting all the stuff moved over there. Takes one person. Someone's taking a fat rip when I'm talking. Did you lift your pinky up when you took a fat rip? There you go.
That meant it was go time.
But that is going to
actually beat me.
That is going to be the beginning of what SafeMoon said they were going to do. They're going to start the electrical grid over there. They're going to start the mesh network. They're going to start getting the Wi-Fi system going up. They're going to start getting the cellular going over there. They're actually starting all this. They got their wind turbines. They showed that they had them. Now they're over there. They're going to start setting all this stuff up. That's why he's over there. I believe the Fudhound was over there, not in the Gambia, but over in Europe, getting all the orders to get shipped to the Gambia. So when John goes over there for the birthday month, they're going to start building it because he looked over all the plans to where they're going to put them to get the best wind and obviously he took a photo of the ground. Where do you think he's putting the turbines? Probably right where he took a photo. Why else would he be over there? Is he wasting time? No, he's setting stuff up. Finally, we're going to get this ecosystem that they're talking about starting to get going over there, and I think that's what he is doing over there right now. So I think that's one of the things. Also, look at your wallet. What do you see new in your wallet? Well, now you have collectibles. If they're building these wind turbines over there, and now they have this place where you can hold NFTs in your wallet, what do you think they're going to allow you to do this month? Maybe buy NFTs with real world capabilities so now they're like, hey, look, we already set your wallet up. We're actually building the turbines that you could purchase. They might be doing a sell on some of the NFTs for your wallet because you have a place to hold them. So I think that these are all the things they're going to be doing. Yes, there might be an exchange listing coming, but I'm excited that they're finally starting to move forward and build the stuff they said they were going to build.
Tim, I have a question for you. What is the purpose of the wind turbine without a blockchain?
See, they need the wind turbines to you got to look at how they're building it. So they need to get Wi-Fi over there, right? They want to start to get into to do the currency over there, right? They need the internet, they need the cellular, they need the energy. And once they get that going and they get all that set up and they get the NFTs going, then they're going to build a blockchain. That's why it's all stepped out that way for a reason. It would be pointless to have the blockchain and they didn't know how to utilize it to the way that they built the system over in the Gambia. So they're going to start setting it up. It's going to be the first test to get this going, where they build their mesh network and their Wi-Fi, their cellular, and they're going to try to incorporate some of the SafeMoon into offsetting the Gambian currency. So I think what they want to do right now is get all this set up, probably start running some tests on the Binance Smart Chain, and then when they figure out how to incorporate it all, they're going to code the blockchain to fit all that stuff. But they need to get this stuff going. They showed us that they have the technology. They showed that it's super advanced with their nanoparticles, and now they're going to go over there. They're going to start unwrapping the presents and setting them up. So I think this is one of the cool things about all of this is, and I think this is going to be the big part, is this is the birth of what is going to be SafeMoon. They told us they had all this stuff. They showed us they had all this stuff, and I think this is what they're actually going to be doing for their birthday month. And I hope I didn't ruin it for them, but that's what I believe, and maybe you guys have a different idea on what they might be doing.
Guys, I hate to interject. I actually stayed 34 minutes longer because I've been enjoying this conversation so much, but I do have to part ways. But I appreciate all of your guys' perspectives and things, and I'll get all your guys' information and would love to have you guys come on to my show.
Thanks, Zach, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You guys are very bright minds. I've appreciated this conversation, and I'll get with Generation Crypto, and I'll make sure we exchange information and get you guys onto my platform too.
For sure. Thanks for coming on, Zach.
All right, guys.
Diamond fist you.
Hey, before you go, Zach, do you want to go ahead and plug your socials so people can know where to find you?
Yeah, so website, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. It's Zac DIY Wealth. So ZacDIYWealth.com, at Zac DIY Wealth. I'm here to help people who don't have an education, because I came from nothing, get to a point in life where there's enough passive money coming in, where you can be creative, where you can pour your energy and efforts into your true passions and the things that really make you happy in life. So with that said, I'm going to part ways. Thank you again. We will all be talking very soon.
Thanks, Zach. Have a good one.
Very nice meeting you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Joe, is it my turn?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I got some fun stuff to kind of go down a rabbit hole in this one. So talking about the Gambia, I think we're in an opportunity right now where with SafeMoon version 2 being out, they already had the previous conversation about bringing in SafeMoon as a currency for the Gambia and introducing the wind turbines, those other elements. That is definitely a core part of Operation Phoenix. But remember that the introduction of the wind turbines, and this is just my point of view on this, right? But I think that they are not ready to install them yet, because what about the patent, the hydrophilic, nanoparticles? They did do a patent for that. Have they actually finished the patent for that? I haven't seen personally anything that's verified that they have acquired that. So you could kind of do two birds with one stone. You can use that GIS software to start evaluating the terrain to figure out where potential plays are. And then you can go firsthand to the actual territories, walking with the various members of the Gambia, just confirming things, starting to get evaluations of how many of these wind turbines you actually have to order, etc. I think the play potentially of Ryan being over in the United Kingdom goes back over to MasterCard and the introduction of the SafeMoon card. So as far as for the birthday month, what I think that we might be able to see, and I think it's very feasible, is the waiting list. So they could open up so that we could actually apply to be on the waiting list to receive the cards once they're ready to go. MasterCard being headquartered over in the United Kingdom. Something else that I think that's really interesting as far as the payment processing system goes is, remember, the SafeMoon community found a SafeMoon company located in Lithuania. If you look up Simplex, Simplex is headquartered in Israel, but it does have a station also in Lithuania. We still don't have a direct buy button for SafeMoon, right? And they've been trying to work with different processors. They were originally looking on onboarding Simplex, and that didn't end up happening. Instead, they went with MoonPay, and there's, I forgot the name of the other one. You guys can name drop it if you remember.
Simplex.
Ramp or Simplex?
Simplex, Wire. MoonPay, Wire. Thank you. That was the other one. So theoretically, you get a money transmitter license or a money service business license. You have the functional capabilities to operate as a business that can work with fiat, onboarding, off-ramping, that kind of a thing. And just kind of the entire industry space that SafeMoon themselves is trying to get involved with. You look at SafeMoon Connect, SafeMoon Rewards, all these different things, the businesses themselves. What's to say that they don't become a payment provider service like a Simplex? Very well, you could just straight up buy SafeMoon through SafeMoon. Look at the system that they've designed, which has strengthened the liquidity. Look at the insurance backing that they're receiving as well. I think SafeMoon as a company is kind of positioning themselves better than any other project I've been looking at to be able to offer those same sort of features. And it fits right in line with everything that's going on with the SafeMoon system. So theoretically, I think that could be something that we find out more information on moving forward with this. I would love it if they actually launched the SafeMoon exchange. They've finalized everything with it. I think more than anything, we'll probably get lots of sneak peeks, more elaborate information, video footage showcasing some of the features, more of a closer time frame. I know they try not to do dates, but they're still, honestly, they're giving us dates in a sense when they say like, oh, we're expecting this Q2. That's a 3-month time frame. And so I think that this month is going to be mainly teasers of the things moving forward. I would be surprised if they don't do the sign up for the SafeMoon card, the waiting list for that, and then just kind of going from there. So, just my opinion, my point of view on things. But yeah, I'm not a financial advisor.
I like it, but I want them to build the damn limb turbines already.
I want them too. I want to buy the NFT already. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really interesting things happening that we just don't know about. We just know that it's happening this month, hopefully soon, tomorrow maybe. We'll like start knowing of what's going on. One of the things that we do know about is SafeMoon Swap and how so many tokens are being added like every single day. And the more tokens added, the more we're getting involved within that buyback and burn, the feature in which whatever swapped adds to helping SafeMoon, which helps us in turn. So, Generation, may I ask you, what do you think is like the most important thing about SafeMoon Swap as it stands, and what else can be done to help add to that buyback and burn, as well as adding more tokens and stuff like that?
So obviously volume is what we need. That's ultimately the end goal of really the entire SafeMoon project is volume. Whether you're talking about the swap or you're talking about the reflections or you're talking about the benefit of the holders, it all comes down to having a large source of volume coming to the project. So when we're talking about the swap, I think the biggest factor, at least for me, other than obviously just listing more projects on the swap, is going to be getting the multi-function out of the swap. So being able to bridge other than Ethereum and Binance, which is great, but being able to pull in some of those newer, lower gas fee blockchains that are out there now, right? We've got Phantom, we've got AVAX, we've got all these other blockchains that are having all these new projects coming into development, bringing a lot of volume onto those blockchains. So I think it would be great if we could incorporate a lot of those projects that are on those different blockchains into the swap, giving us an entirely new market of projects to pull from to be a part of the SafeMoon ecosystem, which would also therefore bring in a lot more volume. Not to mention the fact that people who may not even want to do any of those projects would look at SafeMoon and go, sweet, I can go from the Binance Smart Chain to the AVAX blockchain or to Phantom or over to Ethereum or Binance or whatever, all in one swap. So they may not even hold SafeMoon or any of the other affiliated tokens, and they may want to use our dApps and our wallet so that they can go ahead and bridge their tokens in a very easy to use system so that they can go from one location to the other. And that could be another way that we drive volume into the project. So I think that multi-swap feature, incorporating more than just Ethereum and Binance, is going to be an essential portion to incorporate more volume into the swap.
God damn, you're smart, bro. Man, breathe. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing, like, guys, this is so smart. No, that's the thing that's really important with SafeMoon Swap. It's the fact that it's just adding more to the volume, which SafeMoon definitely wants. It's adding more utility and wind turbines and all this. If you can choose, and this is just we're going to theoretical land because I love theoretical land, but if you can choose one way to add a utility to burn more SafeMoon, what would it be and why? We'll start off with RJ.
Fuck. What was the question? These guys are. I knew it too. I knew it. You were gonna troll me. I was like, no way is he gonna call on me. What was the question? I'm sorry, brother.
No. If you can find one way to add like a way to burn more SafeMoon, like a utility, that's not NFTs, it's not SafeMoon swap, your own way to add a utility to burn more SafeMoon, what could it be? Or what would it be?
That's tough. That's tough.
So I asked you.
So you said no swap.
Right, you're working at SafeMoon. You're in the add more utility department, and day one, they're like, "All right, get to work. What do you got for me?"
Well, I found this feature really cool because, as you guys know, I'm part of like different DeFi projects. I think I don't know if Generation did touch up on it. If he did, I apologize. But has anyone confirmed that SafeMoon is working on a cross-chain functionality within the swap, meaning I can purchase BUSD from Binance and transfer it over to SafeMoon's future blockchain. Has anyone confirmed that?
Yeah, that's what I was touching on earlier. Was
okay.
A multi-swap functionality.
Yes, because that would be so fire. I don't know if anyone, and I'm just gonna stick with this because I think it is so useful and so needed right now in this space. If you're a part of so many projects, such as projects that are on Avalanche, projects that are on Chronos, projects that are on Phantom. It's a pain. It's a pain in the ass, guys, trying to cross blockchains. It really is. You have to go through either multi-chain, either have to go through, let's say if you're going to Phantom, you can go through Spooky Swap and go through their bridge. It's an absolute cluster. Elk is pretty cool. What you do is Elk is all over different chains. So what you do is you convert your stuff into Elk, and then Elk transfers to the other blockchain, and then Elk itself transfers to the coin that you're looking for, the token you're looking for. So if SafeMoon can do something like that and just make it just easier, that's all I'm asking for. That'll increase volume a lot, because then people are going to be using our bridge, right? Right now, if you look at multi-chain or any chain, all these bridges, even Pancake Swap, Spooky Swap on Phantom, they charge a premium to cross the bridge. And so if SafeMoon can create something on their DEX so that we can swap all over the place, cross all over the place within the DEX, that's going to bring a lot of volume. I know you said no swap, but that's my answer.
No. Yeah, no. I meant like SafeMoon swap itself. No, the bridge is perfect. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. That's definitely something that would definitely help a lot, because right now we have two bridges, I think, Ethereum, and what was the other one? Technically BNB, I guess we're on two, but we need more, and I think that definitely would help out a lot. I mean, even just being on Ethereum is huge, but having more definitely is going to help. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, anything. If we already have a bridge on Ethereum, technically any of the EVM compatible chains should be plug and play, right? So if we already support a bridge to Ethereum, AVAX is an L2, Phantom. I mean, it should be. I don't want to say it should be simple, but that's what EVM compatibility makes it, so that it can be copy and pasted. So that's just my 2 cents.
All right, Tim, what you got? Your first day in the job.
My first day on the job, I was, what?
First day of job, you need to find a way to add more utility to SafeMoon.
Oh, yeah. So I got this. Butter.
Please elaborate.
You're hired.
Dude,
You're hired.
Churn and burn, right? We make a butter factory, and as we make butter, we burn SafeMoon.
The Amish is going to make us so much money. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I am telling you, the Amish need cryptocurrency in their life, and this would be the best thing for them, because they don't trust the banks, right? They want what are you guys laughing at?
It's dude, like legal slavery.
Dude, yeah, I live by a bunch of Amish people. They have their little horses and their buggies and their Ellipals. You know, they're flying around, you know.
And their Ellipals.
You know, they got, you know, it'll work. It'll churn and burn, brother. That would be my, you know what? It might not be an acceptable idea, but I think I would try it just to see, because I think the Amish are open to stuff. They built my garage. They would do it for some SafeMoon.
I mean, they're open to everything as long as you give them like basic stuff like a hammer. They're like,
you're so ridiculous, man.
What? Churn and burn, brother. Churn and burn. I seen an Amish person with an Ellipal. I kid you not. So they have it.
Are they allowed to have an Ellipal?
I don't. They can't drive. That I do know. They have to have people drop them off. I'm not making that up.
They can't drive, but they're holding Ellipals on their hand. What are you talking about?
Dude, they have cell phones. I'm not joking.
Tim, first you churn.
The churn and burn, baby.
Burn.
The churn and burn. Like the shake and bake, like the churn and
bake. Yeah.
Churn and burn.
Churn and burn.
But yeah, they do have Ellipals and cell phones, but they can't drive.
I guarantee they're hiding that. You're just blowing up the Amish people's spots right now. There's no way they're like walking around with that. Like they have it on muted. There's no way.
Dude, I'm telling you, they have. All right. I mean, I met them. They were building my garage. I kid you not. They built it in like 3 days. They're wicked builders.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I would say they would openly accept cryptocurrency into their hearts, and I think this would be a good way to burn SafeMoon by churn and butter.
Churn and burn.
That's just that's my 2 cents. I'm sure Tax-Free Boy will have something a little bit better.
What you got?
What are these
Tax-free?
I'm just noticing you guys are changing your names. What?
I needed a name to appropriate to reflect me, tax-free. You know, this is a big talking point in the earlier part of the conversation.
Correct.
What's the question? I'm sorry.
So, gotta get it. Everyone keeps forgetting.
Every single person has asked Joe, what is
it's just one question. Can you add another utility of SafeMoon
Another utility. Okay.
to burn more SafeMoon?
And don't say multi-swap. We've already said that twice.
Yeah. So just to touch on what RJ said a little bit. I'm not going to take his point. Bog Finance has the best bridge I've ever. No, bro. Hey, bro. Bog Finance has the best bridge I've ever used. I bridge my BNB to AVAX like that, 2 minutes, no difficulty. 2 buttons, approve, confirm, sent over, and I did my AVAX stuff over there. So Bog is going to implement Phantom. They're going to implement Polygon. They have other chains they're going to be adding. Right now, it is just Binance Smart Chain to AVAX, but it's the best and easiest I've seen thus far on the market. Now, if I were to give SafeMoon an additional utility, bro, make some fat rips. Like, come on. They get into this market. Come on, dude. Hey, bro. Think about this. Imagine the amount of people that are using this. Every single puff is a burn.
Burn some SafeMoon right now.
Just fat rip and burn, right? Fat rip and burn.
Dedicated. We're burning SafeMoon all the time.
2 SafeMoon just burnt. Joe, let's burn some SafeMoon. I mean, come on.
You're welcome, Army.
This can be plugged in, bro. If they can plug in wind turbines to the blockchain, what stops them from utilizing things like this? Hey, we can even go to cell phones. If they can find some way, every single type or whatever, plug it into the blockchain. John Crony said something a couple months ago to where, I don't know if he was joking about it. He was actually talking about like a gym.
Treadmill.
The treadmill comment. What if there's a way where as a treadmill spun, there was burning going on in the background? And I'm like, dude, I mean, I own a gym. I would love to have a SafeMoon burning treadmill so that I can help the ecosystem so that I can gain more money, create more scarcity. So if he can not, bring something new to the market, but if he can add the burning mechanic and plug those into the blockchain on things we already use, I don't know how you do with a car, but as the car moves, you're burning SafeMoon. If it can be applied to a wind turbine, a physical piece of hardware that needs to be spinning for it to incentivize the burn, how difficult would it be to plug that into everything else in our regular day life that also moves? A bike, literally all of it. That's probably a very far-fetched idea, but anything that has any kind of mechanics, like a puff bar, a bike, a treadmill, all of that would be so beyond what anyone's talking about. John already mentioned it. I'm sure he already has a thoughts of how can I take SafeMoon and bring it down to Papa's numbers of 100 million? How can I do that? Treadmills, bikes, cars, puff bars, put it in your shoes, figure it out. As you walk, you're burning SafeMoon. Think about it. I mean, come on, guys. We're in the future. This is 2022. Things are happening. that if you ask people 10, 15 years ago, oh, that's crazy, man. You're watching movies. What's going on over there? Hey, we're in 2022, and those things that we said were ludicrous are now coming to fruition. So it's very far-fetched to talk about shoes and as people walk the burning safe moon, but who knows what the next 5 or 10 years is going to be, and who knows what innovation at that very current point in time looks like. Can you take your Ellipal and install the hardware into your shoe and walk and burn? I don't know. I loved it. I love the idea. It's very interesting, right? So a lot of stuff can be said if you want to speculate very hard on ideas. It is endless. It is, based off of your imagination. John said that as well. We are limited by our own ability to think and come up with our own ideas. Some of the greatest ideas are in the graveyard because people who don't have the resources to bring these ideas to the market, they might have the best idea in the world. They can't afford to be in front of the right people, to pitch the idea, to actually have the funding to bring it to the market. But someone eventually who's going to live in the future will have that same idea and bring it to the market. So who knows? But I think it's opportunity to be everywhere.
I would buy the NFT to your sucker so you could do some fat rips with it.
Eggplant, Tim, can you explain that name? What's going on there? What is that?
That's I actually had eggplant parmesan for lunch today, so that's why it's an homage. Huh?
Did you make it yourself? Are you a cook?
I am what I eat, right? Eggplant.
What?
No, dude, I had eggplant today. Eggplant parmesan.
Eggplants are usually hairless and bald. What part of you is an eggplant?
My body is Wonderland. My body's an eggplant, baby.
So when it comes to an eggplant, the best part is the second layer. What is your best part of your eggplant?
I don't know. They deep fry it, right? Deep fried eggplant. There's the little patties is the deliciousness of the eggplant. I don't like the skin because it's chewy. You got to rip the skin off the eggplant and eat the supple interior. All right, let's go because we're getting close to. Let's not talk about my. You know what? I'm changing eggplant. You guys go on. I'm gonna mute myself.
You literally said, "I
All
am
right.
what I eat." Eggplant.
Dude, I eat eggplant. You guys don't eat eggplant? You're all meat eaters, right? Every single one of you guys eat meat. I eat eggplant. I mean, eggplant, the emoji means something different. I get that. You guys are getting your minds in the gutter here. You're thinking of a little thingy eggplant, but this is an actual eggplant.
I'm done.
Where do you go from there? What?
All right, Generation Crypto, please answer the question. Do you need to know do you know the answer to the question?
I don't need to repeat it.
He doesn't know the question.
I heard it the first 2 times. What utility would I bring to the table if I was part of the utility market?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. After the churn and burning with butter and everything else that it's come up with, I don't know if I have any more ideas I could bring. If I could bring a utility to the project that's not already a utility that could help bring more volume to the project, that's a good question.
Make like an eggplant factory and just make them all day. There you
Simple
go.
question. You guys are struggling with it.
Well, I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be serious after this debacle.
Oh yeah. No.
Sucky things, eggplants, churn and burning.
All right. If I was to do, I would do obviously metaverse stuff. I think would be cool. So I think building a media branch for SafeMoon would be pretty cool. So you could do literally like sell media companies. So what you do is you partner with a film producer. They produce some sort of film that would be filmed with a camera. That particular camera would be designed in a way that it's going to record in a 360-degree camera system. So you get anywhere you look, it's being recorded. And then you could literally produce initially short films and eventually long films of movies that would be watched in the metaverse as if you were a part of the movie itself. It'd be kind of like a 3D experience, but you being able to see the entire scene and be in the scene would be kind of cool. And so what you could do is kind of create that platform and that idea through the SafeMoon ecosystem, through the metaverse, through virtual reality headsets, And then what would happen is you would partner with producers to produce content. And then a portion of the funds that would be used to create these films would obviously go towards the film producers, the SafeMoon company, and then there would be a burn associated with that in the volume, so it could help the ecosystem.
All right. Alice, your go, buddy.
Hold on, what's going on the name?
Where'd Atlas go?
What's the name, bro? What is that?
Say my name.
Face.
Say my name.
Why don't you eat a burger? Why you gotta eat an eggplant? I don't understand that. Like,
dude,
burger's like just right there.
But you can hug a cow. You can't hug an eggplant.
I can hug an eggplant just as much as I can hug a cow, but I don't care. I'm just gonna eat that burger.
Yeah, but the cow has feelings.
Not when I'm eating it doesn't. It's post feelings.
It has cholesterol. That's the biggest thing. No one needs cholesterol. They need eggplants in their life.
So did they know your testosterone is made from cholesterol, and a good portion of your brain function is used as well?
Right.
So people think about cholesterol as bad. Cholesterol helps with your hormone production. If you want to be more fertile, cholesterol will actually help you out. Look it up.
Oh, you just got
I'm fertile.
Deep
I'm
fried.
fertile.
I wake up and I eat a
fertile?
hamburger. The
Oh,
first
yeah.
thing I do, and then I brush my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, so I got two answers to this. First one is you take all the vape pens, instead of just doing those independently, you slap them on the wind turbines, and then you get double the effect. That's one. Okay, the second one, I think they could actually be maybe a little bit more realistic, is what if you worked with different influencers? You got music artists, you got different events, venues, things like that, and you're combining it with a smart contract. So essentially, people can participate as an audience to go into an exclusive event with this artist or with this entertainment venue, something that's providing you a form of entertainment. And by doing so with the smart contract, it's already been identified so that once these specific terms have been met, that artist will receive X amount of the SafeMoon, and then another portion of that is going to be sent to the burn project. So it'd have to be something that's voluntary by the actual artists themselves, but it creates an incentive for a lot of people to start spending their cryptocurrency for something rather than having it automatically get converted over to fiat, because that's what you traditionally see with a lot of these things that are out there, right? So if you have the ability to pay straight with SafeMoon, engage in that form of entertainment, and then have it on the back end so that once the funds have been acquired and XYZ has been set, you can then burn a large majority of these.
Yeah. Mine was going to be like staking, but you guys, you guys are all over the place. So yeah, maybe a couple of let me just get some of the super chats read up. Listen, everyone, great answers by everybody. I think it's how do you do the super chats? You got to manually scroll up and do them. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you got to click on them manually. So you got to go all the way back up to the top and then scroll through, click on each one.
Why'd you guys have to type in so many things, chat? Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. I think this is the top. I could be wrong. There could be more. No, this should be it. Okay. Greg Gooch says just ate like 2 pounds of red beans, having heart palpitations. What's going on here? All right.
I love that guy, dude. I love you.
Just
He's
bought
great.
some Pikachu on these. You want me to ship you a pair? They're nice.
Are they
Notice
pre-worn?
I mean, it's Gooch, so yes. Do you see me being able to purchase? Oh my god. Okay.
Hopefully.
Rocket says, dude, what's up, fellas? Appreciate you all. Thanks, Rocket. I appreciate you too, buddy. Gooch says, SafeMoon Tim is baked. You're right.
I could bake some brownies.
And then Gooch also says, that he says, I'm Amish. I find this offensive.
I'm saying Amish people could have Ellipals and use cell phones and do cryptocurrency. How is that offensive? I think they're great.
I think Amish people do a great job at building fences.
I mean, they are actually master builders. I live not far from Amish. I'm serious. I live not far from like Quakertown, Pennsylvania, and these guys are master builders. If you need a chair, you need a house, these guys are crazy fast. They're super accurate. I love their services. I'll always use the Amish to build stuff. I can't build stuff that well.
A giant wooden spoon, giant wooden wheel, generally anything that's made out of wood.
Do you just go to them and be like, hey, can you guys build me something? And they're like, sure. Like, how does that work?
So they actually have websites, believe it or not. I'm not joking. And they built me a garage. They straight up built me a garage. You know,
Joe,
out of wood.
Well, it's a pole building, so they erected all these poles out of wood. They're wood buildings, and then they just put like a metal roof on it and metal walls and concrete. They poured concrete and everything, and they had Ellipals.
Ron says you guys are the best.
Ron's the best.
And then he also came out and said adult NFTs will kill it with volume. Who would watch adult NFTs for the boring purposes, of course?
Oh yes.
Anyone?
I need interactive adult NFTs. Like you collect this one and this one, they somehow do things together. You know what I mean?
They make more NFTs.
Yes.
Self-producing NFTs.
Churn and burn.
The irresponsible ones make baby NFTs.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Right, listen, I appreciate everybody being here. Once again, thank you so much, Moonboy, Dark with Tim, RJ, Generation Atlas. Thank you to everybody being here tonight. I really appreciate everybody. We're going to call this stream right here. I appreciate everybody. Make sure to subscribe to everyone's channels, all right? Subscribe to Crypto Atlas, Generation Crypto, Moonboy, Dark with Tim, and RJ. Listen, everyone, why don't you say a little something before we end the stream? Moonboy, we want to say to everybody. Go ahead, buddy. We'll start with you.
Joe, did you just launch me?
I didn't launch you.
You launched me like someone else who launches their other co-hosts. Can't believe you just launched me, bro.
No, I would never launch you like another person launches their co-host. That would be stupid.
Bro. Like I
would never do that.
I just exited and I'm like, did Joe launch me? Well,
never.
Why did you do that?
You were launched.
I'll tell you right now, I will never launch you like someone launches their co-host because that's some would say a bitch thing to do. And that's what I wouldn't do.
All right. Just want to clarify. I appreciate you, my boy. Thank you so much, Joe. You are incredible. The entire panel. Sexy Daddy RG over there. Fat Rick Boy. We got Crypto Atlas over here changing the name to Goku, then a face. We got Generation, the most sexiest hair I've ever seen on a podcast. Keeping that standard every single podcast. Guys, like his hair is never bad. It's always on top. I don't know how he does it. Gel, conditioner, shampoo, and then he rinses and do it all over again. Guys are awesome. I have a good time. You know, we're all friends here. Thank you everyone who watch, chill, super chat. Follow all these guys. They're all great content. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Tim, you're up.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a blast once again. Love hanging out with you guys. A lot of great topics. Covered a lot of good stuff. And yeah, maybe Safe Moon's watching this, and before you know it, they'll be churning some butter. But thanks for having me on.
Churn and burn.
Churn and burn, baby.
All right. Just makes no sense.
That's how you churn. They have these wooden spoons. They churn like this.
Double churn. Oh shit. How you do a double churn?
I'm gonna close it out quick. I just want to say thank you to obviously everyone that hung out with us. We love hanging out and talking crypto with you guys. It's as you can tell, it's natural. We have a lot of fun up here, and we love seeing the comments and stuff like that. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone here in the panel. Great group of guys. Fucking eggplants.
All right, Generation, you're up, buddy.
Thanks for coming, guys. I can barely keep it straight at this point. So thank you guys all for making me laugh on the panel. Thank you guys for making me laugh in the comment section. I appreciate having a good time with all of you guys. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, so I appreciate everyone being able to just relax, have fun, talk about our passions, and still be able to be here with each other. So I appreciate every one of you, and I want to say special shout out to Zac for coming on the podcast earlier today, willing to talk to us about with a different perspective and talk to us about crypto and what it has to offer for the world. So thank you guys.
All right, Crypto Atlas, you're up, buddy.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Joe, thank you very much for hosting tonight. And God bless.
Did you launch Moonboy?
Did you seriously launch him?
I didn't launch him. Moonboy, do not put that on me. No, do not put that on me, Moonboy.
Dude, I keep getting launched. What's going on here? Who is launching me? Dude, this is an injustice. This isn't Twitter.
You know how you know I'm not launching you, Moonboy, because you're not my Twitter co-host. Like,
okay.
That's
something's happening here, though. I got to see it, man.
So
like,
weird.
Maybe Wi-Fi.
I got launched 3 times.
Sorry, Atlas. It was just funny. I saw Moonboy disappear again, and then Joe started
No, it's
laughing.
fine.
I didn't launch him.
Launch me, bro.
Oh, Crypto Atlas, you're up, buddy.
Yeah, no, thank you everyone for tuning in today, and thank you guys. Thank you also, Joe, for hosting, and God bless everyone. As far as for the news with SafeMoon, there's a lot of opportunity coming up for this month for sure, and it starts tomorrow. So we'll see how things continue to progress, and things will be interesting. We're going to continue hosting these roundtables, so you guys should keep an eye out on social media for more information. Who's hosting next week? We don't have that answer at this exact moment, but we will be sharing that here in the near future for you guys so that you got a better idea of where you're going to be for the next week, right? And also, me personally, my heart goes out to the people of Ukraine, and I'm praying for them, and I'm praying that this war ends soon and that we can get back to peace and that we can move on with our lives. So thank you.
Sorry about that. I got self-launched. Yeah, no, I appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you so much for everybody being here today. Seriously, if you haven't subscribed to, Krillo Atlas, Generation Crypto, Dark Mood Tim, RJ, Moonboy, please definitely check the channel out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on any of their videos, and make sure to go to the notification bell and hit on all notifications. Check them out on the social media, on Twitters and everything like that. And yeah, we'll definitely see you guys on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.
I'm in fists.